Welcome to Paired Adventures. This podcast is intended for listeners 18 and older. It contains discussions about the consensual adult swinger lifestyle and may include mature themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
All opinions shared are personal and for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This podcast does not provide professional, medical, legal, or relationship advice.
All activities discussed involve consenting adults. We do not support coercion, exploitation, or illegal behavior. By listening, you confirm that you are of legal age and choose to engage with this content. Hey there, sexy listeners, and welcome back to Paired Adventures. This is Veronica.
And Philip.
And we're going to talk today about my first time with another female. And then later on, we'll talk about my first time experiencing a male-female-male interaction.
This is going to be a fun one.
All right, so let's go backwards in time. So we had my first experience with another girl at YKW, the club that we talked about in episode 2. And obviously that became our go-to club for quite a while. So we were back at YKW, and sometime during that night, we linked up with a couple, and for confidentiality reasons, we'll just refer to them moving forward as J and T. So we hung out with J and T throughout the night. We went to the Sabian room with them and tried out a Sabian for the first time, which was a lot of fun, and I still want one to put in my closet. We'll talk to Philip about that some more. So we tried out the Sabian room, and T wasn't interested in partaking with another female, and he wasn't really looking to really participate in any of the activities that night. They were new. But Jay was interested in having an experience with a female. She had also never been with one. And so it kind of worked out because I hadn't been with one and she hadn't been with one. So why not have that experience together?
Exactly.
So we decided to leave the guys and find a quiet spot for her and I. And we went back to a room and we started getting hot and heavy. You know, the thing is I always thought that I was attracted to women, but I had never actually been with one. And so I kind of equate it to, well, let's talk about broccoli. So you might think, well, man, I really like broccoli. But if you've never had broccoli, you don't know if you like it. So you don't know if you like something until you try it. So I thought that I was bi, but I really wasn't sure because I didn't have anything to base that off of besides I really like to watch lesbian porn. Anyway, we find us a little cabana area that's quiet and we start getting hot and heavy, making out, touching, things of that nature, and then things progress and I decide, well, I am going to see if I actually like this. So I proceeded to make my way down south, doing my thing, and I was eating her pussy, and she clearly liked what I was doing, and so we're just having a great time. And the next thing I know, I must have been doing a really good job because she came all over my face.
How did that make you feel?
So I was pretty darn excited because, I thought, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And what if I'm doing a bad job? Because, all the things are in your head. Like, I've never done this. Like, I've given head and, I know how to do the things that I do with Philip. But, and I know what's done to me. But it's different when you're driving the car opposed to being the passenger.
Yeah, you must have got the rhythm right.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a combination, right? So, and especially with females, it's a little bit different from our male counterparts. So we all have our own little combination to unlock the safe, I guess you would say. And so I figured it out, and we were having a great time. And of course, Philip and T were kind of our little spectators cheering us on for our first time. And so we had a little tiny little audience, and that just added to the excitement of the entire thing. So I set a new record for myself, and it is a running record, and I pride myself in my records. I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I like when I get things right. That night was our first time with J and T. We played with them a few more times after that, but that first night I think we settled out on 3 orgasms back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And T was participating with J, his wife. So he was kind of over there kissing on her neck while you were going down on her. It was a hot scene. So that was your first time being in control with another female. So you were kind of like the dominating one, which you aren't really the dominating person, but you had to take control of that, and I think you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you do things for the first time, regardless of whether it's like a female or you're with another man or, any situation like that, you do kind of learn what you like and what position you like to be in. Not like sexual position, but whether or not you're going to be the one who's submissive or if you're going to be the one kind of dominating. So I very quickly learned that in sexual relations with Philip, I am more submissive and I'm not very dominant. But when I'm in a female situation, I do tend to be the more dominant partner, and I enjoy being the dominant partner.
I would say that's pretty accurate for even with you and other men. You're more submissive with men.
I am.
And you're more dominant with women. And it's not to an extent where like anyone's uncomfortable. Like you don't sit there and dominate. Like if some people aren't used to what we're talking about and they're picturing like from the movies to dom, and I just think you're just taking more control. You're making the moves.
Yes.
Kind of more in that sense.
Yes.
Right.
I'm kind of like leading more than following.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, she was not ready to swap and go down on you.
Yeah, and I was perfectly okay with that. And I have also learned over time that that's not particularly important to me.
Right. I think you enjoy going down on women more so than having women go down on you, even though you do enjoy it. But I think
my preference is.
Right.
Yeah, my preference is to be the one to go down.
Yeah. So, first time ever eating pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And you liked it.
I did like it. And so that was when I was able to take a step back after that night and finally come to terms with accepting the identity of a bisexual woman.
Yeah. And I think that it makes the experience so much better. You made her orgasm. She was coming off the bed, like very vocal. I mean, all of those things are confidence boosters.
Yeah, I definitely rocked her world.
So she loved it. She told T that he's going to have to learn some of your tricks.
Yeah, he definitely had some competition.
I think it was overall a great time. T and I did not partake in this, so we were bystanders, and I was kind of messing with you a little bit while you're going down on her. I was rubbing on you, kissing on your back and your neck, but it was really your moment.
Yeah, and I was really appreciative of being able to have that time, like to make it my moment where there was no one else involved. I didn't have to worry about leaving someone out. I didn't have to worry about, making sure that someone else was taken care of. It was really just about us in that moment and no one else. And it gave me the freedom at that time to really experience that in a way that was not necessarily intimate, but maybe
a little bit intimate.
Maybe a little intimate.
Yeah.
because for me, it was a big moment in my life being able to have that experience and then knowing and solidifying the fact that, yes, this is a part of who I am.
Exactly. So that was a pretty hot moment. That was your first girl on girl experience. And like you said, we did meet up with J and T a few times since then and had some other experiences with them. But to move on to our next topic for today, we're going to leave J and T and we're going to move over to who we're going to call H. H was a single male who we actually did not even meet in the lifestyle.
Yep. So at this time in my life, I was getting into my 30s and I had been in a relationship, obviously, for the majority of my grown life. And I didn't want to not be in a relationship, but I was reaching the point where we did say we have children. And so I was missing my identity. And so I had stopped doing things after children that I would have normally done. So, like going out, meeting with people, socializing, things like that. So, I had gone through this stage in my life where I was going out every Friday night. I was doing the whole bar scene, not, having a problem with alcohol or anything like that, but just because I wanted to do something separate from Philip.
Yeah, and I mean, there were a lot of times we went together, but most of the time it was you going out with some friends that you had met, or even some girlfriends, or, whatever the case was, or just going to your local spot.
Yep. So during that time, I was bar hopping, doing the things, meeting my girlfriends, all of those things. And one night I ran into this guy that we're calling H, and we struck up a conversation and started hanging out and just as friends, just very friendly. I'm a little bit of a flirt, so there was some flirtation there, but not anything that would be outside of what I should or should not be doing.
Nothing that she wasn't allowed to do. We had already had conversations, and she was perfectly in line with what she was doing.
Yes. So we just had friendly banter. We would meet on Fridays at the same places and just hang out and have a good time. Just, listening to music, dancing, having a good time. Well, I had never been in a male situation. And I started to think, well, I mean, this guy's cute and we get along really well. And I mean, this might be fun to have an experience with another man. And at first, we had talked about it, Philip and I, about the idea of me being with a man and playing by myself without him. And so we had conversations about it. And he was like, if you want to be with another man because you don't have a lot of experience and you've only been with, 4 other people. And so if that's something that you want to explore, then I'm totally okay with that. So we talked about H and we talked about whether or not like he could be that person. And Philip was like, yeah, go for it. Like, I'll book you a hotel room. Like, just, let me know when you want to make that happen and we can make it happen. So I had conversations with H and he was interested, obviously. And, I mean, typical, guy, like, I'm not going to turn down getting laid kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, let me talk to my husband. We'll get something lined up and then we'll pick a date. And so talked to Philip and he booked us a hotel room and it was supposed to be on a Friday night. That Friday night came and I got cold feet. So hotel was booked, everything was set, and I was like, I don't think I can do this by myself.
Right. And I get a text message, maybe about 11 o'clock at night, which she didn't usually go out till probably about 10 anyway. So that was pretty early at that time, especially Fridays and Saturday nights. I didn't have any commitments in the morning, so I'd typically stay up till 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. I get a text around 11 o'clock saying, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, okay, well, then if you're not comfortable, don't do it. And she's like, it's not that I'm not comfortable. It's like, I don't think I could do it alone. I can't do it without you. And our play style is that we play together. Now we do have some stories that we'll end up telling you at some point where we have played separate, but that's really not what we enjoy. Our relationship is that we like to do things together and experience these experiences together. So that's really what she was saying at that moment was, no, I just want you there. So I'm like, okay, well, I have nothing else going on. So I'll just meet you at the hotel. Would that like kind of ease your mind? And she's like, yeah, but I still want it to kind of be where it's just me and him. And I'm like, okay. Luckily, I booked a suite, so it has a living room. So we can do that. Like, I'll just come hang out in the living room. And then once you're comfortable, you guys go off to your room. So I'll bring a bottle of alcohol. We'll sit around, we'll socialize a little bit. And then whenever things get hot and heavy, you guys go and I'll hang out in the living room. Not a big deal. So we meet at the hotel and we did exactly that until it was time.
Yep. And then it got to be time and things were getting, heated between us. And I decided, you know what? Like, I can't let Philip just sit in the living room area. Like, this is silly. And so I looked at H and I was like, H, like, how would you feel about Philip joining us? He's not going to do anything with you. But, like, have you ever been interested in, like, dual penetration and being with a girl with another guy? And he's like, I mean,
he was for it. Like he was a little bit younger, not much, but a little bit younger, and he was just there for the experience. Like he was living his best life. So he's like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
yeah. So we make our way to the bedroom and I went down on H, started giving him head and trying, like, working him up. Then we started playing around and fucking, and Philip kind of made his way, like, in little by little, like, here and there. And then I was on top of H, facing him, and Philip made his way behind me and proceeded to complete the act of dual penetration.
I think it's a hot moment for all of us. I mean, that was definitely his first experience. That was your first dual penetration with two real penises.
Yes.
And of course, my first time as well. So it was a hot situation.
Yeah, definitely was pretty hot. And for me, like, it was really nice, like, being the center of attention.
Almost being worshipped. So when you guys were having your fun together, he was all about you, doing all the right things. You're having a blast, moaning, doing everything right. And then I joined in and we just kind of had a great little male, female, male threesome.
Yeah. Now, we have not had a female, male, female yet. Or a female, female, male.
Yeah, either or.
Either or. So in the future, that's something that I definitely would like to give Philip so he can have the experience of being the center of attention.
Yeah, them unicorns are hard to find.
They are hard to find.
They're like mystical creatures out there somewhere. So that was Veronica's first girl meets girl and girl meets boy. Yeah. Plus boy. I think at that, we're going to leave you with those thoughts. And then on our next episode, we might dive in a little bit more about some other experiences. But we also want to start moving on to different parties we've been at.
Yeah, and we would love it if you guys gave us some, like, feedback, things that you guys want to talk about or hear us talk about, or know about. And if you guys have any fantasies that you might want to share, there's a comment section and you can leave a comment and we are reading those. So anything that you guys sent over, we're definitely checking out. If there's any fantasies that you're interested in, definitely leave a comment. And there is a running poll as well. So add your votes on that poll so that we can answer those questions for you because we'd love to.
We would love any of your feedback, and we definitely want to hear from you guys. So, again, leave us a comment, even if it's just saying hi. We want to know you're there and that you're enjoying it. And if there's any kind of things that you want to hear or for us to do differently, let us know.
All right, well, that's all for today. See you next time.